Hey guys, my name is Cidiac and welcome back to another episode of Woodville here in City Skylines 2, where we're watching one of our cargo planes pretty much leave our brand new airport, to which we implemented in the last episode. And boy oh boy does it look glorious. We have passenger planes, or should I say plane landing right now. I don't know if that's landing or taking off, I'm not too sure. We got cargo trains coming and going right now because obviously the airport is also treated as a warehouse, which is pretty handy. We've made them go through the rail yard, which is a way in which we can kind of integrate stuff. And I turned off this kind of train or rail terminal station thing because I was thinking maybe the airport can take over the duties of this. I still don't know yet. We'll kind of see what happens with it. But today, we're going to work more with this area. Now, there's a few things I want to do with this. And before I explain it, I just want to say right now, if you are enjoying this series so far, please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. Now, what I want to do is I want to build up an industrial area around here because we have the airport, which can have cargo, the rail yards here. I can put a bunch of services down as well. I can build a new bus depot. One thing I don't have, and somebody kind of pointed this out in the last episode, the reason why I have so much traffic coming in and out of the area, and I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but if I go to public transport, right, it's these things here. I've got so many taxis coming in and out, which is adding to the transportation issues, and that's solely because I actually didn't realise I don't have a taxi depot. So anybody wants a taxi, it's got to come in and out of the region, thus creating even more traffic. So a bunch of that stuff can kind of go around here, but before I can implement all that, we need to implement public transport. Now, we have a really good transportation network for trains, and I want to extend it to having a train stop around here. So that's where people will transition from the airport to the train line to skedaddle, but it will also eventually allow my train line to continue running that way and eventually meet up with where it ends in Sycamore Woods. Now, one more thing as well, because this is going to be so industrialized, maybe at some point we have another cargo harbour around here. Ooh, Cidiac. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? It kind of would. So I'm going to kind of have that within mind. One of these two islands here kind of seemed like a good fit for the size of it, which I don't know whether I'll keep that. I'll probably still keep that, but having something over here would, I think, be pretty good. But that's future problems, future issues, future upgrades that we'll do at some point. So my goal right now then is to implement a train station, set up the layout, and then slowly start to build all the industrial and service-related kind of things within this vicinity. It does mean we'll see more traffic running through, probably cause more problems, but it is what it is. Now, something else I forgot last episode was to rename this area here, and I do apologise for that, boys. I did have it in my mind. I've written it down, but I completely forgot about it. And a lot of people came up with some interesting ones, but one person, actually not one person, a few people said, well, Sonic, it's already called Willow, so rename it the Willow Industrial Park, and I thought that was a really good idea. Willow Industrial Park. I think I spelt it right. There we go. The Willow Industrial Park. And we're about to have a brand new area over here at the same time. So let's get rocking and rolling. Now, in terms of train stations, we've got a couple of variations we've been using. We've got the French train station there. And we also have the Central European train station over here as well. And looking beautiful. We've got over here the French one, so I think we're going to be relying on the French-related one. Now, if I go to train stations and find that real quick, which is this one, because it's quite narrow and slim, but it also has two lines that we can kind of connect to it. Now, I kind of don't want to put it to the edge either side. I kind of technically want it in the middle. I think that would be a good little spot in the middle somewhere. And I might allow the train line to run through the road of this, just for the aesthetics and just that. So let me try and figure out then where would be a good point for the central area. I mean, it won't be perfectly central, but if I just come off this as a grid, for example, I want to see what we're working with in terms of space and design. So we're going to kind of slightly lose out there. So I think I might actually delete you and pick. If I come off the highway, just here, give me myself room for trees. This is what we could utilize in the middle, but it depends on how big the train station sticks out. It doesn't. Unless I go... Oh, unless I went for the Central European one. Which, it's a lot bigger, but it utilizes the dead space in the middle for the rail lines as well. Okay, we might go for that one then. So let me just make this go a little bit longer and run this down a little bit longer as well. So I don't want it dead centered to there. I want it to be a little bit of a staggered gap because the way the road goes. To be honest with you, I could also change where the road goes. It hasn't really got to connect directly there. And let's see. So if I was to implement you, let's say here would be a good shout, a good spot. Very nice, very nice. And that becomes, which it's on a slight little hill, isn't it? Which is kind of interesting. Can I raise this up slightly? Oh, no. We can't raise it up, Seniac. We can't raise it up. I don't know why it does that. Why does it do that? Why does it go like this? I will never understand the game when it wants to do stuff like that. I think I'll quickly delete it. I'll delete you. And I'll... Oh, okay. I see where the land's going a little bit funky. We'll delete you. And we'll sort out some terraining. So I want the soften. And let me just go for a level first. So pumping that through as a level. And then we'll go for the soften. So it'll be like a gradual decline as it ticks along. Hopefully that's going to work out. So let me now just get this now all connected. So that runs to there. You would run then down here. And then we should be back to normal. And I can implement said train station. It's a bit better. Okay, it's a bit better. So that is literally randomly placed. There's no way about this. It's randomly placed. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to get the rail line right now. And we will bring it from here on this side and then completely run it through. And then I just need to connect this in. So I might use the complex curve. Actually, do I, or shall I allow it to run as 2? Because I've allowed this down here to run as 2. I've got to then eventually split it somehow. I'm not quite sure yet. But then again, where's it going to run as 2? I suppose it doesn't really matter. So let me go to there, to there. Okay, maybe not. Right, we'll go there, there, there. As our little complex curve running in. I'll run this going down to there. And then do the same here as well. Right. Just mimicking it should work out pretty well. So this is just to bring passengers to and from. I'm not sure where the entry point is. I might just keep this road as it is now. I don't think there's any need to kind of switch it up or change it up too much. And how far do we kind of create... Right, I'm going to go here, running down as a road connection. So it's a 224 is what I've done there. And then let's go for another 224, which will be on this run. And then I could run that through. If it's not a little bit... Ooh, it does feel a bit too close. I feel like this is now not centered. We should center this, shouldn't we? Am I being annoying right now by wanting to center it all? I think I might. I think I slightly am being annoying. So Nick, if you get it right the first time, you wouldn't have to do all this. I know. I know. Please. Go easy on me. Go easy on me right now. Right, that's centered. Right, that'll be the last time we play around with it. This will be the last time I have to play around with this now, because we should destroy this now. Right, that's done. That's done. Perfection. Nice little road it can run through. And this will now build quite nice as a beautiful industrial area. Very good, boys. Very good. So we're going to get this connected to the main line. Now, we do have a line running through, but I'm going to completely change how this all now works. Let me just quickly pause before anything happens. I'm going to delete this connection coming round there, which does go down to there. And I'm going to delete it where it does start to bend. And what I'm going to do, does that kind of dip down? Yes and no. Let's just first focus on this being the main line, because this is what contains the majority of all the passenger trains, running all the way down. So keeping it to a +10, I'm going to bring it to about there. All right, turn off the complexness, because that's a little bit funky. And then we'll go across here at a +10. Okay, okay. Which is then going to run, hopefully, I'll keep it elevated, because we're going to have a bunch of cargo buildings, a big built-up industry. So where can I create the snaps? That's at 101, 104. That will do me. So that's how it's going to work there. And I just got to get these now all connected up. Right. 166. And we might need to anarchy this because of the bend of it. Alright, I'll bring this a bit further down. .166, 179. I think that we can work with that. It's just flipping over and switching on the opposite side of the road. So that runs through there, which is perfect, but it does kill off this. Now, the idea here could be, and looking at it, we might actually need to merge it over. I wonder if it would make sense to do a parallel mode. So if I deleted this to there, and then rebuilt it down with the parallel added on, I want to go the opposite way, so that will be that way, and reduce it down to a 0.25. Is that the lowest I can go? That's the lowest I can go on it. Ooh, okay. So let me throw that in. Will I need to physically move it over slightly? The answer's probably yes. So I've only got to move a small chunk of it, is the answer. So if I select you, just select the 4 nodes that are on it, and merge inwards a little bit more. It's a bit tight, isn't it? I might have to then move this just slightly over. Can we get away with that? Is it a bit too close, do you reckon? Does it look slightly weird? All these answers are probably going to be yes. I might have to move this one further down. So let me just get the bend in. Let me just get this bend in first. So, oh, get rid of the parallel. That would help. Alright, into there. Yeah, it's a bit too close, isn't it? Now, I could solve it really easy by hopefully just selecting all these nodes. But the issue is we've got to select them all individually. I liked in City Skylines 1 where you could, like, hold shift and it would select everything. And that is a rogue tree going to be in my way. I don't know if I've actually now picked that up or not. Right, we'll go to there first. So let me... Okay, we're okay there. So bring this a little bit further down. And then we'll just readjust where needed. Right, I think we get away with that there. This one, not so much. I think that just needs to be bent around a little bit. Okay, that works. Right, we solved the issue without having to rebuild it. Nice. And then that's where we grab the train line. There we go. Run it in. But the problem is now, it doesn't interact with the other line, if that makes sense. So we're going to kind of then create the little connections for it. So, oh, hello. Let's just now get this set up. So we'll go for a connection like this to switch over. You can't do double slips in this game. It doesn't work like that. And then we do one just there. And that allows them to crisscross over, no matter what direction they're pretty much heading in. So that then should, theoretically, fix that train issue while allowing us to have the main line run all the way down. So now, where we do have the passenger lines, so passenger rail, ending here, we no longer want them to end there. So after it stops there, we now want it to run all the way down. And let's just have this one stop there. Which means on the way back, it does a little bit differently. So I've got to do the other one as well. And I'm going to make sure on that train station that they're set up differently as well. So bring you into that side. So we're going to utilize the same platforms-ish kind of, but the opposite sides. And then we want them to change how they interact here. So I want them both to... Which side of the track are they driving on? Or choo-chooing on? The right-hand side. So this green one we would then move over to here. And then on the way back, on the green, I'll have it stop there. On the orange, we'll have it stop there. So they kind of stay on the passenger side of it. And allow the cargo to remain on the right side until the one passenger train has to switch over because it heads in this direction. You kind of get that? So that sorts out the passenger train traffic getting to this brand new industrialized area. So if I just now quickly play around with a couple of road layouts, I'll probably have to readjust them again at some point. But I want to now build a bigger bus depot. And I want to build a... Okay, why is that not straight? Do you reckon that's because the road drops down with the land? Right, that didn't work out to plan. Right, there we go. So this is going to run down to here. So build them together because you get the same outcome then. You know what I mean? And if I go there... Bam, bam. Bends aren't perfect, but it is what it is. We'll get some organization no matter what anyway. And I'm going to have this come down and then merge in to a crissy cross that goes over there. So if I brought this down by 224, which is here. So if I'm kind of sticking to the 224 aspect, but here you kind of lose it. Because a 224... Oh no, a 224 is about there. But so I'll call it a little bit earlier on this one. And let me just run through that. As straight as we're going to get it without any issues. And that's where that road's going to bend into it. So it's kind of... All directions are kind of integrated in many ways. So a 62 by 64, that will do. Off it goes. Right, so... Got some little road layouts there. We can then play around with the little gaps right now and squeeze some stuff in. So I think we'll first look at taxis, because that will be a way in which we can instantly improve the vehicle traffic heading in and out of the region. And we'll build a big hub over here. So they fall on the road, and I need the small taxi depot. We're going to go for the big taxi depot. And again, this is going to integrate and have a lot of vehicles, or what they're called, not vehicles, what they're called right now. They're called garage extensions. So what I'll do is I'll play around with this. Now, and this might not be perfect first time round, but just bear with me a second. I'm going to build a perimeter road going around here. Okay, there's a 3 there and a 4 there. So it's not perfectly central, but it will do. It will do. And by default, we get 25 vehicles. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of taxis driving around, okay? A lot. Over 1,300 citizens are using taxis a month. So I kind of fully expect us to be needing quite a few of these, to say the least. So if I went you there, but then that would give me an awkward gap here. I want to try and figure out like a nice design I can work with. So if I put you there, and let's say that I built a perimeter going around here and here. Actually, do you know what? I didn't even see if these... Oh, they can't... Oh, no. I don't know how I managed that. But there we go. I've got 3 in there. That actually kind of fits quite nice. So if I was to extend this going down this way, hypothetically, I want to see how far we could take this. So that gives me 55. I don't want to do too many where it's completely overkill. But I just want to do enough where we can build a nice little depot. Right, we'll go to there. I'm going to replicate it this side. That gives me 115. And I think that there is a reasonable size for a depot. And we'll build a road going around the edge. It's kind of then all linked together. It's near the train line. So, you know, the noises and effects that come from that don't affect anything because they won't be worrying about noise pollution in general anyway. I'm going to have quite a few trees I'm going to have to delete, aren't I? So that works out pretty nice. So I'll just jazz it up a last little bit right now before we give them the green light to go. And we'll place down a couple of trees here. A couple of trees just there to fill the dead space. And I'll do the odd 1 or 2 just at the entrance there. You could do a couple in the little grass spots without taking it too far. And that works. We've got a nice little taxi depot for 115 taxis. Crazy, right? That's crazy numbers. So pressing play now, because I've done minimal changes in reality. We've sorted out the train station. 2 trains now stop here, so 2 lines do extend down to this direction. May need to actually throw more trains on it. Do I have the ability to pull 3 more trains out in general anyway? I think. No, 2 more. So there's... Oh, hang on. They're all spawning. Actually, I think I got the perfect number. I might have actually oofed some lines, if I'm not mistaken. Right, taxis then. So this has 115 employees. So that provides quite a fair few amount of jobs. And you have to wait for everyone to get to work before I think we start seeing taxis start to leave. Do we have the people working there? We do have the people working there, and they will eventually start making their way down here. But that works out pretty nice for us. So, hopefully, that eases the situation a little bit. Now, we do have a bus depot. Where is it? We have one over here, which we're using all the buses. But we did also implement a small one over here as well. So, I will throw one over here, only because I'd rather get it in now before I run out of space to implement an additional one. Now, it won't be ridiculous. It'll be... Oh, hold on. I think the reason why we're not going to have taxis coming out, because I didn't add a dispatch center. A dispatch center allows them to call taxis all over the place and not have to rely on taxi stands. So if I did that, theoretically now, once everyone starts arriving to work, we should start seeing taxis then leave, which we are now, because people can just now phone up. And not have to... We don't have to go and do a mass taxi stand all over the city. I'll still do it anyway, because it's where taxis can park and be local to the areas. But we'll come back to that. Right, bus depot. Now, the bus depot can be quite a large-sized building itself. So I might just throw this in over here. So I'm utilising all the space between the transport links. And from this, we are going to add an additional... couple of garages right now. So if I came off this is really cutting it close. And let's say I'll come off a 2 mark here. Cutting it close to the back streets. So I could build one here. I'm going to have to move it over because of the anarchy. The snapping. What's going on here? Why can't I select it? Oh, can you not select the individual building? Well, I'll turn off snapping then. No, we need snapping. Wait, how do I get it to go, like, smack bang into the corner? And I can't select... Wait, is that not a thing? I can't select this? Huh? Oh, that's kind of slightly blown my mind. I don't think I'll need an extra one anyway. What if I just rotated this way? We'll just pull it here instead. Right, that road's kind of now technically in the way. Right, move you. Put you there. I'm only going to do one, because I won't need an additional one. And we've added a little bit of an extension on. Couple of trees down. To bulk up the area. So the trees look kind of out of place right now around them buildings, but once I got all the factories in, it will kind of then make a little bit more sense. So extra bus stepper in there, so it just kind of covers our backs. We've got all 115 taxis now in use, which is kind of crazy. It really is. That's really crazy. Got the rail yard down there, which we've almost got all the trains in there being used. So if I wanted to get any more trains, I've only got space for 2 more trains to kind of head out. So we'll have to eventually build another rail yard somewhere else in the future. Oof. Oof. But other than that, it's not too bad. So you can see the amount of people now walking back and forth to the airport. So having that train station there is vital. Look at how busy this area now is. Absolutely vital right now. We should see a lot more people now utilising the airport to kind of come in and out of the region. Right, that's good then. That's pretty sweet. So last things I want to do is I do want to create a area around here. So let's just very loosely go around the outskirts. I need you guys to give me a name for this region. So we'll see what it gives itself by default. Before we decide what it's going to be called. So Chester Peak is what it calls itself by default. But I need you guys to give me a name suggestion for this area. Also, we haven't even gave that an outside region name either. We're going to have to extend that slightly as well. We actually are. Oh my goodness me, boys. What am I doing? What is this fool even doing now? Does he even know what he's doing? Is the big question. Right, that covers there. And this is all part of downtown Redwood. Right, I might as well go the full distance here. There we go. Because the issue is, I have all the services linked to the area. So by putting it in, it makes everybody who lives in this area have access to them certain services. So no one's missing out. Alright, there we go. That's better. That's better. Okay, so other things I want to do, I want to implement a couple of services in before I start getting some buildings in. So I do want to get fire implemented first. We'll go for a city firehouse. Should we go for that size or do we go for this one? A city firehouse could work. Yeah, we'll do that. Now, we've got a bit of space at the back end of the actual train station, or I could do it on the corner. Is it the police station that's normally bigger? Where's the city police station? Yeah, it is only a tad slightly a bit bigger. So implement you in there. And is there any extensions I can do on it apart from a helipad? We'll get you in. Right, of course I'm building a perimeter road. It's how your boy rolls. I want to build like this kind of inner city back alley kind of style. The city... Fire station. I had to think then. Mom, my brain was not braining. Right, there we go. If I implemented you here, does there work? Is there any extensions on this? There's no extensions, so it means I could run around. Oh, I've done the road a bit too close. It was one more tile. There we go. So it just kills off all that little space there. A little bit of room here for shenanigans. But we'll drop a couple of trees down. We'll just tree it all off. I'm going to drop a couple of trees at the actual station anyway. In the green spots, we'll drop a beautiful tree. Right, there we go. Because I don't want it to look too... I mean, it's going to look built up anyway, but I want it to also look kind of nice in many ways. So that handles city, fire, and policing within this area. It will, because it's not actually designated to a zone section, it will work everywhere. But hopefully more locally, is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully more locally. Alright, we're still all good over here. 115 sent out. Yes. And we need to sort out mail. So, do we now look towards building a post-sorting facility within this vicinity? A facility within the vicinity. Yeah. I think so, but I don't think I can build it now because it is quite a large building. It's a shame it doesn't quite fit in there. Although, it is an elevated piece of railway that does go over the top. If I was to implement that down, it just clips the road there. So, I won't do it anyway. We'll find somewhere else for it. But what about telecom? We have done no telecom stuff as well, so we need to actually look at that at some point in the future. That's quite an important thing we need to add in. So within this little area then, we'll start to add in a couple of factories, also a couple of office-related stuff as well. So we'll start with factories. We'll just do some generic zoning, as they call it. I also might do. Is it worth dropping a bit of commercial down? I'm not too sure. Right, we'll go nice and big and chunky, and then in some areas a little bit smaller, because we want a variety of stuff implemented. A variety of zoned things. There we go. Just a couple down there. We'll fill in a few little nooks and crannies over here now. So it's better than just dropping the paint tool on it, because you'll get way more than you need, which then creates more issues because there's then too many buildings. You know what I mean? There'll be too many buildings at that point. So let's fill in those little gaps there. There we go. Drop a small one in there, why not? Drop one in there as well. Now, we'll also implement some offices. Now, this is the interesting part as well, because we have the ability to go for some like really, really big ones. But let's just start with some southwest ones first. We'll do it in here. I'm thinking we might play around, though, with the road layout down here. So if I just randomly did that and then created some little cul-de-sacs like you, and then did the same here. Right, a couple little snaps there. And then we'll cut across here. There. I think there might be some utilities under the road here, by the way. There might be some utilities on there, which is stopping me doing some, like, generic zoning. So we'll go with that then, because we're going to build, like, a little bit of an office park area. So it is a bit of a walk down to here. We might have, like, a little bit of a circular bus that goes back and forth. But we'll now implement a few different office designs. So these are all the southwest styling first. So we'll dot these round where we can. We'll designate some normal ones. So go slightly large there. Go to there, there, there. And that demand gets pretty spent quickly. So there's no waiting around for that. We've got a little bit of industrial demand still hanging on. So we'll squeeze what we can in. Alright, there we go. Looking fabulous, boys. Looking fabulous, might I add. And then where we can, we'll add in a little bit of walking capabilities. Let me just turn snapping off on all of this. So we'll add a cross in there, that's fine. Do one there. And then we'll implement one here to match it. And then we'll go to there. There. So this becomes quite a walkable area. I won't go any further on that. And would we need to do one at the back of the train station, maybe? Because you got these roads that just kind of... Not road, sorry. Path that just kind of ends. Alright, we'll go to there with you. I don't know if that's fully doing anything. You know what I mean? Right, we'll do like a weird... How do I grab you? That's what I'm after. So you get like a slight little wiggle. Yes. Right, from that then, last thing I'm going to do now then, is in the little nooks and crannies and gaps, do what I've been doing as a signature to this series, just dropping down so many oak trees. We still get the vibe of Woodville. And all the buildings placed within it. And hopefully, because we've spaced it out like this, it's not as heavily trafficked. If that's the best way to pull it. Right, that office demand's come back now, so we can get some more zoning in. So we'll go for a large one there. So this is the normal one here at the minute. And then we'll go back to some southwest one. And then we'll do a couple of nice little chunks around here. And I think that's where we'll leave it for now, because I've got to now reevaluate the traffic situation from what this is obviously going to create. Now, there's only 2 entry points into this if you're driving, obviously here and here. We have public transport with the train, so that is a big help. You know, it's a good job we got that in quite early. And there's up to 2,300. After all them buildings are done, probably 2,500 jobs are now going to be available in Chesapeake. Very, very good. Now, do I just turn this back on, this cargo train station? I'm not particularly too sure. The airport pretty much almost has everything it requires anyway. And there's a train there just now loading people up. People are walking to it. Off it goes. Train coming in. Lots of people getting off. And of course, can they walk? Oh, okay. So they can use the path. They do walk down, as you can see. So it is connected there. A lot of them are now making their way down to the airport as well. So it works. It's set up perfectly exactly how we want it. It does what I need it to do. I'm hoping that the influx in taxis that we implemented means we see less going out in the region. Yes and no. I think like it's just one of those things, isn't it? It is just one of those things. We'll have to see. We will have to see. But it's a nice way to kind of build this area up now, isn't it? You don't want to do too much. So I've got a few rooms and gaps for other stuff. But it does mean with these gaps down here as well and down here, because it's going to be more industrialized in this area, we can build stuff like the post-sorting facility and stuff and so on and so on. So I think that's something we need to kind of focus on and maybe take into account next episode if we were to build a second cargo harbour. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. If we should go down that road of a second harbour, it would really, really help us out. I've got a bit of room going down here for a few more factories, and we'll back it on with trees for a bit of sound barrier stuff. Makes no difference, the sound either side of it. But it should be pretty good. I'm excited about this. I really am. So, people wait. Trains are circling around. You can't argue. It's pretty good, boys. It is pretty good. Where's that green line go anyway? The green line goes all the way down to here. Oh, to Sycamore Woods. Would there need to have another train in that line? I'm not too sure just yet. The only thing that we are missing over here, and I will implement now, is some beautiful parking. So is a big multi-story out of the question? Or do I go for just like generic large parking? That's a bit too big, if you ask me. Could drop you in there. Nice little parking fee. Nice little parking fee. We'll throw a couple little smaller ones in. Where's the... There we go. Drop you in there. Where else could I squeeze some in? There's a couple of little good little spots we could get them in. Like, for example, like here. You implement it in. And then you do and set up for some nice walkability. Like that. And the car park actually connects itself to it, which is hilarious. So you can now touch it. Right, there we go. There we go. Delete you. Right. We'll see how things get on in the long run. We'll see how things get on. That doesn't connect. I think that's mainly because it's not connected to the right part of the road. Should now build up. And it's just a case now of just making sure we fine-tune all of the trees. And it should look pretty nice. Right. I think we'll end it here, guys. Nice little setup right now. Did it go over the 2,500 in jobs? Yeah. Oh, it's near up to 2,700. So that's added in a decent amount of more jobs without increasing any of the population. It would have naturally gone up itself anyway, but we're now down to 2.8% unemployment. So I think we're almost ready at some point, boys, to start implementing more residents. So a lot of work has still got to be done in this area just to make it kind of its final form. But I'm liking how it's looking. I really, really am. So, I think we'll end it here, boys. Hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please smash the like button down below. And until next time, I see you all soon. So, goodbye.